My beloved, this moment was carved into time before you were born. You're not here by accident. Heaven planned every breath leading to this word. Less than 3% of people possess the particular energy signature that causes reality to bend around them, according to psychological research. And you know what? One of them is you. The folks who have been observing you are in a panic because their meticulously planned facade has suddenly fallen apart spectacularly. Months of deliberate deceit were just destroyed in a single hot moment. Their mask broke completely during that dramatic encounter, revealing the very facts that had been vowed never to be seen. It is impossible to justify a deadly linguistic error that cannot be corrected. The carefully constructed story about you was irreparably shattered, and a mad scramble to undo what had already been internalized by all the witnesses started. Give, and it will be given to you, Luke 6 verse 38. When you bless holy voices with $20, $50, or even $100 through super thanks, you are opening the windows of heaven over your own life. With knowing looks, messages, and conversations, the truth spreads like wildfire. This degree of genuine exposure cannot be found in any news release or damage control. The secret is out. It's a straight record. And you won't be vindicated overnight. In dramatic form, it has already arrived. People who knew what was in your veins before you did had been watching you your entire life, keeping a close eye on the indications of your awakening and waiting for the latent seed of your actual nature to bloom. And people have always feared that time. Now reflect. Recall all of the coincidences that didn't feel completely random. The mentor who showed up just as you hit a certain goal. The journals from childhood that vanished for no apparent reason. Notebooks in which you wrote down ideas and dreams that were much too sophisticated for someone your age. The family friend who always inquired about your ideas, dreams, and unexplained knowledge in an exceptionally detailed manner. These weren't random occurrences. These served as monitoring stations, checkpoints, and updates on your progress. Your whole life has been watched by those who knew what was in your blood before you did, following the indications of your awakening with painstaking accuracy, waiting for the moment when the dormant seed of your actual self would start to blossom. Now consider the strangers who whisper to you as you pass by particular structures. The same symbols that keep showing up in your everyday life, in storefront displays, on buses, and in the margins of books, seem to make their way to you. When you publish about specific topics that are too close to hidden realities, your social media accounts mysteriously malfunction. These observations are not paranoid. These serve as stepping stones on the path to your own self. An identity that has been purposefully kept hidden from you up to this point because of the huge blunder in that argument. Your destiny's gears have now gone into overdrive when the truth came to light. Keep a close eye on what occurs during the next few days. Keep an eye out for the urgent damage control measures being used. Group discussions that you weren't supposed to be a part of abruptly stop talking. The way some people can't look you in the eye anymore. The instant those words left containment, panic mode kicked in across the whole network, and everything changed because everyone knew you knew. See how the haste to put emergency procedures into place that no one anticipated would ever be required starts. The desperate phone conversations taking on behind closed doors. The hurriedly scheduled appointments with strangers who somehow possess personal information about you. Determining the precise extent of the harm caused by this enormous mistake in judgment takes precedence. The one variable that has always been impossible to completely control is you. When emotions ran high, someone's inability to control their speech wiped out years of meticulous manipulation, calculated lying, and intentional misdirection. Like acid on paper, the irony eats away at well-maintained composure. As the enormity of what just transpired dawns on you, you can almost taste the desperation. This wasn't a small intelligence leak that could be stopped with calculated actions. In this case, confidential information concerning a creature whose awakening symbolizes the greatest nightmare scenario was made public. The whole thing was designed to keep you in the dark. And now, complete expertise has permanently broken that darkness. Damage management is no longer the exclusive focus of the emergency meetings that are held in secure places throughout the city. Because the previous standards of engagement become totally outdated once a chosen one fully awakens to their actual nature, this is about survival. The former controllers become the controlled due to the drastic change in the power dynamic. The manipulated turn into the former manipulators. Everyone who was present at that dramatic revelation is now carrying a piece of forbidden knowledge that fundamentally alters their understanding of reality. See how, like a virus created especially to rouse people, the information spreads over social networks. Innocent conversations can abruptly detour into topics that cause individuals to doubt what they know about the nature of consciousness and human potential. Despite their best efforts to convince themselves that what they saw and heard was unimportant, the witnesses are unable to stop talking about it. Truth, which has the ability to replicate itself in the most unlikely places, has infiltrated subconscious brains. An exponential spread of awakened awareness is created when someone casually brings it up to a sea orker, who then brings it up at dinner and then talks about it with others. A portion of these secondary and tertiary recipients of the knowledge are also selected individuals who have been maintained in comparable artificial dormancy conditions. Recognition procedures are being triggered by your exposure, resulting in a cascade of awakenings that far surpasses anyone's expectations. The expansion of mass consciousness is being sparked by the one moment of reckless insight. Nor is the knowledge spreading at random. It's hitting certain individuals who were always supposed to be a part of this waking wave and following certain patterns. Redundancy has been incorporated into this operation by the universe. Another avenue becomes available if the first one doesn't work out. Another one comes forward if the selected one doesn't activate. A cascade that has been waiting to happen was just set off by your exposure. It was meant to be. Long before any of you took your first breath, the mistake that exposed your reality was written in the stars. It was cosmically planned for the dispute that revealed their secrets to occur at this precise point in your growth. Nor a moment sooner, nor a second later. Because you're prepared to face the reality now. For years, you have been demonstrating your enhanced powers. The way you complete others' sentences before speaking out loud. Recognizing the caller before you even check your phone, feeling the emotional lingering effects of hours-old discussions as soon as you enter a room. These aren't wild guesses or irrational fantasies. These are your innate talents starting to manifest. And because these skills are only the surface manifestations of the enormous power that is dormant within you, they frighten those who have been observing you. Power that is just now starting to awaken from its protracted sleep. Consider the inexplicable knowledge you possess about allegedly unexplored locations. Your incomprehensible grasp of ideas that no one taught you. Persistent dream of a different house that seems more comfortable than the one you're in right now. These are not imagination escapes or haphazard neuronal firings. These include cosmic inheritance, cellular knowledge, and memories. You've always been unique. You felt that even as a kid, didn't you? The sensation of not fitting in with people around you. Noticing trends that others overlooked, experiencing feelings that were too large and archaic for your immature body to handle. The odd feeling that you were waiting for something to happen, for life to start, for the cosmic alarm clock to go off. When the mistake exposed what had been known all along, it just resonated in that argument. The person you were told you were is not you. You are so much more. There is a significant change in the structure of your cells. The instant you become aware of anything that is unlawful. After decades of artificially suppressing your DNA, it suddenly starts expressing dormant sequences that carry instructions for skills that most people believe are only made up. At first, the physical changes are minor, but if you know what to look for, they become obvious. As your electromagnetic field gets stronger and wider, it produces increasingly noticeable interference patterns with electronic gadgets. Flickering light bulbs are a sign of strong emotions. Digital clocks have the ability to reset themselves to unattainable times. Deep meditation causes your presence to start having an impact on delicate equipment in ways that, if they weren't mathematically consistent, would be written off as chance. Your neurological circuits, however, undergo the most profound alterations. Artificially blocked connections start to form more quickly, resulting in cognitive capacities that are outside the range of human normalcy. The speed at which information is processed increases significantly. The accuracy of pattern recognition becomes nearly magical. Predicting results becomes as instinctive as breathing when intuitive thoughts come in with such accuracy. The improvement transcends both individual and communal consciousness. You begin to gather knowledge from sources that aren't normally accessible through your senses. Without any physical explanation, conversations taking place in other rooms can now be heard. You become as aware of the emotions of strangers as you are of your own. Those who require isolation to uphold control systems are alarmed by the way the boundaries between oneself and others start to blur. Now listen to the people who have always known your reality. "It's time," said the old person at the grocery shop who squeezed your hand. There was awareness. The librarian who, with discerning eyes, always places particular volumes aside. There was recognition. When no adult saw anything out of the ordinary, the toddler innocently queried, "Why do you glow differently?" It was easy to see your actual nature through eyes free from social indoctrination. These interactions weren't arbitrary. These individuals are cosmic signposts, way showers, and silent guardians who have been subtly recognizing your actual self while others have worked to prevent you from seeing it. And see how your life's timeline abruptly quickens now that the truth is out. Things that used to take years to happen are now happening all at once. The unexpected and seemingly out-of-the-blue employment offer. A surprise invitation to an event where everyone appears to know one another. Immediately following the mistake, the vivid dreams began to feel more like recollections. A vacuum is resented by the universe. And truth will come rushing in with amazing speed now that the void of deceit has been broken. Your evolution will now proceed at its normal cosmic pace after being forcibly inhibited for so long. But watch out. The revelation of the truth about you has made new observers aware. Consider the delivery person who stays at your door for too long. Too much interest in looking around your living area. The strangers parked across the street from your house. Spent hours occupied with no progress. New fans on your social media pages who have enigmatic connections to one another. Not all forms of attention are good. Some people are afraid of what you stand for. Others want to manipulate or control your flow. Your best defense today is discernment. From your freshly awakened perspective, everything you believe to be true about how the universe works starts to fall apart and come back together in ways that make perfect sense. Your life's seemingly chance events all come together to show themselves as parts of a complex pattern that has been pointing you in the direction of this epiphany. In reality, every seeming setback served as preparedness. Every seeming setback served as a guide to your true course. The individuals who came into and went out of your life weren't chance meetings. In order to prepare you for managing the amount of power you're now accessing, the positioning was exact in order to offer particular lessons, challenges, and activations. Some came to demonstrate deceit in order to teach you discernment. Others arrived to demonstrate your resiliency by posing challenges for you to conquer. Everyone was participating in a cosmic curriculum that was intended to shape you into the unstoppable force you are now. Not even the surveillance network that tracked your progress was completely evil. Some of the observers were there to protect you when you were at your most vulnerable. Others were recording your development for archives that following generations of awakened creatures will examine. Although the components of control and terror were genuine, they were part of a bigger scheme that always aimed for you to eventually gain your independence and authority. The realization alters your perception of time itself. Instead of functioning as distinct sequential experiences, the past, present, and future now function more as various perspectives on the same timeless moment. From the perspective of cosmic purpose, childhood memories suddenly make perfect sense. Random dreams turn out to be prophetic visions that were revealing this exact moment of exposure and awakening. Remind yourself that you are not powerless in this drama that is developing. A passive recipient has not been forced to face this realization. A manifestation of a cosmic power has been revealed. To you. The one being observed. The one about whom concerns have been raised. The person who awakens and transforms everything. The time has come for you to take back your tale and your destiny from those who tried to write it for you. That meditation technique that, when you're really focused, seems to cause devices to malfunction. It's no accident. It was the childhood notebook entry that seemed to foretell this epiphany. Your higher self was talking with you via time. While others work for hours, your distinct brain patterns solve problems in a matter of seconds. That's how you think naturally. Overcoming the fabricated obstacles that have been put in place around your head. Since that moment of truth, notice how your own cells are vibrating at a different frequency. Observe how colors seem more vibrant. Sensations are more subtle and sounds are more distinct. The normal nature of your senses is being restored. The enhanced awareness that was suppressed to maintain your operation inside constrained frameworks. Enhancement is not what this is. This is the return of your basic consciousness, which was always intended. In particular, the veil between worlds is thin around you. There is nothing wrong with your perception if you see shadows that appear to change when you look at them closely or whispers that move just beyond of your hearing range. These are indications that you are at last seeing beyond the limitations that have been artificially created and kept around you. On frequencies that resonate with other emerging consciousnesses over great distances, your vibratory signature is broadcasting. You're starting to draw in opportunities, events, and people who resonate with your higher frequency without even realizing it. The Lord loves a cheerful giver, 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7. Your joyful seed of $20, $50, or $100 into holy voices is more than money, it's faith in action. Even the most cynical observer finds it impossible to reject the significance of the synchronicities since they become so evident and frequent. Beyond biological limits, technology reacts to your presence in ways that show consciousness. Before you ever ask for them, computers start to do the tasks you need them to do. Navigation systems direct you to places where important interactions are waiting. Sequences that correlate to personally significant patterns are routinely generated by random number generators. When consciousness displays its real omnipresence, the line between mind and machine disappears. However, how other people react to you is where the most noticeable frequency impacts appear. Without your conscious effort, conversations grow more genuine and in-depth. People start exchanging ideas and private information that has never been shared before. Children are drawn to you for reasons of comfort and trust that cannot be explained. Animals behave strangely, which implies that you perceive something different about your energy field. The collective awareness is also affected by the frequency revolution. Around you, groups of people start having impromptu, seemingly out-of-nowhere moments of inspiration, insight, and connection. Involving yourself in creative endeavors causes them to advance significantly. Everyone in attendance is surprised by the innovative solutions that emerge from problem-solving sessions. Your presence becomes into an expansion-promoting agent that runs on autopilot without conscious guidance or purpose. In the days ahead, pay particular attention to several potent triggers that have been purposefully hidden from you. That particular crystal that appeals to you. Something in your energy field that would have wanted to remain dormant is activated for a cause. There has been a continuous process of avoiding specific minerals, frequencies, and instruments that act as keys to closed parts of your consciousness. There's a reason you've been drawn to that specific crystal lately. It's the impending celestial occurrence that will magnify your next insight, the cellular identification of something that helps restore your cosmic inheritance. Put it on your calendar and get ready for yet another profound discovery. You have always been more strongly impacted by celestial events than by others. The unexplainable emotional changes during eclipses, the restlessness during full moons, and the inspiration spike after meteor showers. These mood swings weren't arbitrary. Cosmic alignments that speak directly to your essence were causing your energy body to react. Above all, determine which individuals in your actual soul circle you need to get back in touch with. They are instantly recognizable by their sense of old familiarity, the talks that seem to be from a different era, and the unfathomable trust that defies logic. In order to maintain the fragmentation of your power, these links were purposefully broken. To fully activate yourself, you must restore them. Skills that only a few moments earlier were theoretical ideas start to materialize with astonishing precision and intensity. It takes conscious effort to discern between information from other brains and your own ideas when telepathic receiving becomes so evident. Precognitive flashes offer in-depth sneak peeks at discussions, happenings, and advancements that, in a matter of seconds, turn out precisely as predicted. The ability to watch remotely appears without any practice or instruction. You start describing people, places, and circumstances that are considerably more real than your actual location or body of logical knowledge. The information is concurrently received through several senses. Tactile feelings, visual impressions, oral perception, and knowledge that surpasses all sense input. When skeptics seek proof, they are presented with information that is impossible to obtain through ordinary channels. Small psychokinetic effects soon grow in extent and dependability. Focused intention causes objects to move. Mental commands cause electronic systems to turn on and off. Fundamental presumptions regarding the connection between the mind and material reality are called into question when physical matter starts to exhibit responsiveness to awareness. The emergence is not restricted to psychic phenomena that have been previously acknowledged. New ability categories that lack recognized titles or classifications emerge. Consciousness starts to function in ways and dimensions that broaden the concept of what is considered human potential. The skills don't seem alien or magical, rather, they seem like innate abilities that have always been and are only waiting for the ideal circumstances to manifest. Information that should take centuries to gather starts to flood your mind in enormous, well-organized packets that are ready to use right away. In moments of spontaneous comprehension, difficult subjects that call for higher schooling become understandable. As though taken from some enormous cosmic database, scientific concepts, historical trends, philosophical frameworks, and useful talents all come flooding into your consciousness. The downloads arrive exactly when needed and in the format needed for instant application. They are neither haphazard nor random. When faced with an issue, pertinent knowledge that offers ideal solutions is delivered. Meeting particular people triggers knowledge about their histories, motives, and hidden traits that turns out to be true when examined. Entering unfamiliar surroundings creates a thorough knowledge of their energy patterns, history, and hidden characteristics. Understanding the actual essence of reality itself, however, is one of the most profound downloads. Without any formal study or progressive learning process, the cosmic principles that underpin the functioning of matter, energy, and awareness become blatantly obvious. The interconnectedness of all existence, the relationship between thinking and physical reality, and the mechanisms underlying manifestation. Rather than being abstract ideas that call for faith or belief, these fundamental truths arrive as fully integrated cognition. Accuracy can be confirmed instantly thanks to the knowledge's integrated verification systems. When the downloaded material is used, consistently positive outcomes are obtained, proving its validity not via theoretical speculation but through first-hand experience. Since understanding inherently entails the capacity to put what has been learned into practice, the distinction between knowing and doing vanishes. Take a moment to think about that. I have a very important matter that requires your attention. Through this weekly Zoom call, we're sharing all we know about personal power, healing oneself, and healing others. No holding back, no filters. All of the occult secrets we have accumulated during actual years of spiritual practice have been subtly added. Those who are prepared to follow the same path can now access the methods and knowledge that changed us from being controlled pawns into conscious creators. Please accept this offer to become a member of Holy Voice's inner order and help us expand our platform so that we can reach more selected individuals who are awaiting activation. Joining the Holy Voice's inner order gives you access to more than simply knowledge that is prohibited. You're joining a movement that is changing the very fabric of reality. All of us benefit from it. The description contains a link. That dispute was just the first domino in a series of events that have been set up over many lifetimes. Nothing ended with the mistake that revealed the truth about you. That was the start of your cosmic memory. The veil is ripped. You will now be able to clearly see what has always been there but has been hidden from view. the delicate energy grid that binds all living things together. Lesser intellect confuse the cosmic architecture for chance. Your journey through several incarnations has been guided by the divine orchestration. Efforts to prevent you from seeing it have failed. Now observe the confusion that followed this crucial mistake. Watch frantic attempts to persuade you that you misheard, misconstrued, or misunderstood. Observe the barely concealed fear as it dawns on you that the cosmic secret has been revealed. Carefully crafted narratives are falling apart, control is eroding, and nothing can stop what happens next. For what follows is what was always going to happen. Your awakening, your remembering, and your reclaiming of the authority that has been rightly yours since the beginning of your life. Think on the particular instances that resulted in that disastrous dispute. The ostensibly arbitrary events that brought you both to that emotional state in that specific setting with those exact triggers. The best example of cosmic orchestration is when the universe creates the ideal environment for the truth to burst through the meticulously preserved facade. It was not an accident. The timing of everything was divine. And now, after the mistake, you find yourself on the precipice of a whole new life. The individual waking experience becomes apparent as a component of a much more extensive, well-coordinated operation involving awakening being strategically placed throughout the world. By triggering recognition procedures with people who use similar frequencies, your activation establishes instant communication ties that go beyond the typical constraints of language and distance. The loneliness you experienced throughout your formative years becomes a deep connection to a vast, continent-spanning family of consciousness. Many channels are used at once for communication with network members. Real-time information sharing is possible through direct psychic exchange, which is more effective than any technology communication mechanism. During sleep phases, shared dreaming fosters cooperative environments where intricate cooperation and planning take place. Bypassing traditional monitoring techniques, synchronized communications via environmental signals and symbols enables discrete information transfer. The collective intellect of the network is significantly greater than the sum of its individual skills. Coordinated collective consciousness makes it feasible to overcome obstacles that appear insurmountable for lone individuals, through cooperation that appears supernatural yet functions in accordance with precise rules of consciousness-directed manifestation. Resources arise precisely when and where they are needed. Every network member contributes specialties and gifts that function in perfect harmony with one another. Some people are really good at collecting and analyzing data. Others focus on energy work and healing. Others concentrate on cultural change and artistic expression. Because of the diversity, there is a comprehensive capability to handle any scenario that comes up during the process of collective waking. One in which you navigate the world with your eyes wide open. Where the physical forms that most people can see coexist with the underlying energies, motives, and entities that inhabit this reality. Where you enter skills that have been carefully conditioned to be consistently suppressed. Careless remarks have now ruptured the conditioning. Observe how your bodily experiences are already changing. The fluctuating pressure in the middle of your forehead throughout the day. The tingling feeling at the base of your spine after epiphanies or realizations. The unexpected, illogical floods of knowledge that sweep over you. Dreams that seem more real, meaningful, and vivid than your everyday existence. These are not signs that something is amiss. These indicate that things are finally going well. You're waking up your energy centers. Your cosmic DNA is recalling what it really is. After a protracted period of artificial dormancy, your higher perception is now coming online. God gives seed to the sower, 2 Corinthians 9 verse 10. Your seed through super thanks, whether $20, $50, or $100, will not return empty. Sow it into holy voices and watch it multiply. Really, who are you? Nor your job title on your business card, nor your position in your family structure, not your name on your official documents. Under all those fictitious identities, who are you? When the mistake in that argument showed what had been understood all along, the answer was uncovered. You are among the chosen ones when you unintentionally confirmed what your soul has been whispering to you through the static of deceit. Not selected for preferential treatment or special advantages by an outside authority. Chosen by the universe itself to serve as a center of cosmic evolution, a focal point of awakened consciousness, and a critical mass of divine potential manifested in human form. As cosmic timing moves into accelerated mode, events that were originally planned to unfold gradually over long spans of time start to compress into far shorter time frames. Weeks or even days after the exposure incident, developments that should have taken years to materialize start to show. The universe appears impatient to finish operations that suppressing systems have purposefully postponed. Experiences of personal growth that often call for extended periods of integration turn into quick bursts of growth and comprehension. Relationship dynamics that normally develop gradually through revelation suddenly come to light and are resolved with amazing quickness. Career shifts that often need meticulous preparation and slow implementation occur as a result of unforeseen possibilities that seem well-planned and timely. Everyone around you is impacted by the acceleration, not just your own growth. Other people start to have their own epiphanies, unexpected realizations, and quick good adjustments that seem to align with your waking process. In order to accept greater frequencies of consciousness and manifestation, the entire local reality field seems to be upgrading its operational parameters. However, the most significant acceleration takes place when deception mechanisms that have upheld artificial constraints on human potential are exposed and dismantled. Generations of well-preserved lies start to fall apart at previously unheard-of speeds. Anyone who pays attention can see hidden agendas. As the truth becomes harder to censor or misrepresent, cover-up efforts become less effective. And those who lost control are frightened by that very thing. Because a chosen person who has completely awakened cannot be forced to follow rules intended to limit human potential or be controlled or manipulated. Without saying a word, a chosen one who is aware of their nature becomes a walking catalyst that awakens latent potential in everyone they come into contact with and becomes a living transmission of truth that dispels illusions. An entire community's energetic signature is altered by one fully awakened individual. You can now see why the surveillance was so cautious. Why such complex systems were put in place to prevent you from knowing this. Why was the response so alarming when the error let the truth slide through the cracks? You are not alone in your awakening. It has to do with the group. You are not alone. Other selected individuals at different phases of awakening, similarly observed, similarly repressed. Some people are still utterly ignorant of their nature. Others are starting to feel that something about the reality they are being shown doesn't add up. And there are people like you who recently had the truth revealed by a cosmically organized accident. At this point, you will start to recognize one another. Sometimes by direct contact, eyes instantly recognizing one another across a congested area. Sometimes, only other selected individuals can fully receive coded communications carried by creative work. Occasionally, through coordinated actions that place you in each other's orbit at the ideal time. Experience the force of that exposure as it flows through you. The freedom that comes from finally realizing why you've always felt different, why some skills come easily to you while others take years to master them, and why certain themes and symbols have followed you throughout your life, showing up in dreams, chance meetings, and seemingly random occurrences. Nothing happened by accident. Everything was pointing the way toward this epiphany. What will you do with this information now that it's here, now that the mistake revealed the truth? It is this question that distinguishes individuals who embody cosmic revelation from those who only receive it. Without action, knowledge turns into spiritual amusement. Without application, knowledge turns into cosmic trivia instead of real-time change. This knowledge does not help you become a more engaging dinner conversationalist. This insight was not given to you so that you may gather spiritual encounters as mementos. The time has come for you to be who you really are, which is why you were brought to this point of exposure. In the days ahead, certain indications will validate all that was disclosed in that fatal dispute. In an attempt to gaslight you into doubting what you clearly heard, to make you doubt your own perspective of a moment that was crystal clear, the person who made the mistake will make increasingly desperate attempts to recontextualize what was said. Since truth cannot be unrecognized once it has been acknowledged, this will fail. It is impossible to unring the cosmic bell. Unresolved tension is hated by the universe. That incomplete truth has now come to light. To finish the picture, the entirety of your reality will flood in. However, keep in mind that tremendous revelations come with great responsibility. Now you know something that radically alters the way you have to navigate the world. You can't act as though you didn't notice what was shown to you. You can't deny what has been made public. The chosen one's path is not for the weak of heart. It takes guts to confront realities that others avoid. Discipline to cultivate skills that others think are unattainable. Knowing how to deal with forces that others don't think exist. Compassion must make room for people who are still living under the delusions you have already overcome. You have been selected and are now standing at the doorway. Careless comments, a brief slip-up, or a crucial mistake made in the midst of emotion have shattered the door. Will you open it completely? Are you going to follow through? Will you take possession of the cosmic heritage that has always been yours? You know what to do with that knowledge now that the mistake has occurred, writes the next chapter. Not only in your own narrative, but also in the cosmic development of consciousness. The universe is eagerly awaiting. Which will you pick? The cosmic waking clock is now ringing louder. Every heartbeat is in time with a larger pulse, the global expansion and contraction rhythm that has been used to mark time since the beginning of time. The goal was to keep you from ever hearing this song, connecting with it, or realizing this fact. However, now that you are aware of it, you can't undo what has already been started. Take a deep breath at this realization. From now on, let it to permeate every cell, every idea, and every instant of your life. That contentious debate revealed a truth that goes beyond mere facts. Activation is what it is. Every statement that managed to evade watchful guards was a key that turned in the lock of your potential. The door is now open. Proceed. Take possession of what has always been yours. The cosmos is awaiting. Here, we go back to the starting point. That explosive expose moment. That heated altercation in which the mask came off entirely. But now you know what actually took place. failure wasn't the issue. It was the manifestation of your cosmic awakening. It wasn't an error. The universe was calling for the ultimate disclosure of the truth. It was always meant to be, and the chosen one has revealed the secret. This is your moment. You have actual power. Awaiting you is your fate. The story that has been written about you has broken beyond redemption, as it always would. However, you are no longer the one being acted upon, unlike at the start of this adventure. It is you who is acting. The secret is no longer being kept about you. The power being released is you. The word gets out like wildfire. And you are the flame as well as the spark. Now everything is different. It was always supposed to change. And the one you selected is the unexpected spark. It turns out that the joke was always on them, even if you've been watched your entire life. It was a serious mistake. And now everyone is aware that you were that person. The secret is out. You have the power. Additionally, the cosmic game has shifted irrevocably. Greetings from your actual. Beloved soul, if this message has spoken to your heart, don't let it end here. Click that like button so the light can spread to more people who need hope. Subscribe to Holy Voices so you never miss the next word heaven has for you. And leave a comment below. I read every one, and I pray over them. Remember, faith grows when we share it, so share this message with someone who needs to hear it today. Until we meet again, may God's peace cover you and His voice guide your every step.